When I woke up, I kept forgetting things. After reviewing my medical records, the doctor informed me that during the 3 years I was in a coma, I had been given a banned drug. Its side effect would make me lose all my memories within a month. I was stunned at my sister Vivian Houghton was the doctor in charge of my treatment during those years. Upon learning this, I rushed to find Owen Gray, desperate to tell him the truth. I had already been awake for 3 weeks. That meant I had just 1 week left before I completely forgot about Owen. But then I overheard his conversation with those people. It felt like a heavy blow landed on me, tearing me apart with pain. It turned out that Owen remembered everything about how we had loved each other madly and how I had shielded him with my own body during the car accident. Even the people around him knew that he was only pretending to have lost his memory. He did all of this for one reason: to marry Vivian and force me to let go. That realization, my heart ached and I started gasping for air. I knew that my asthma was acting up. Years ago, I developed asthma after saving Owen from drowning. When we were in love, he always carried my inhaler. But now, seeing me like this, he only said, "Disgusting." I took my medicine and gradually regained my breath. When I returned to the villa, Luca Gray ran up to me. "Aunt Shannon, I dropped my toy in the water. Can you help me find it?" He tugged at my hand, leading me to the swimming pool. It was winter, and the water was freezing. The moment I stepped in, the cold pierced through me. But when I saw the pleading look in his eyes, I kept searching, diving down again and again. However, there was nothing. I looked up and asked him, "Luca, are you sure you dropped it here? I can't see anything. What does it look like?" "It's a small golden car. Please, Aunt Shannon. I'm begging you." Clenching my teeth, I dove back into the water. I didn't know how long I had been searching when I suddenly heard Vivian's voice. "Luca, what are you doing here?" "Mom, I'm just messing with her," Luca said mischievously. "You were right. She'll do anything I ask." As I surfaced, he pointed at me, his grin triumphant. Vivian stood beside him, holding that small golden toy car in her hand. When I heard those words, my heart turned ice cold. She took Luca's hand and praised him. "Well done." I couldn't hold back any longer. "Luca, how could you trick your mother like this?" He shot me a hateful glare. "You're not my mother. My mother is Vivian Houghton. You deserve to be tricked for abandoning me all those years ago." Luca was my child with Owen. I was 7 months pregnant when the accident happened. Back then, the doctor told me that if I chose to give birth to him, I might never wake up again. I didn't hesitate. I chose to give birth to Luca. Time proved me right. He grew up well. But when I woke up from my coma, he was calling Vivian Mom. I always thought that it was because everyone was trying to spare him the pain, so they told him that Vivian was his mother. Only later did I realize that Luca knew that I was his biological mother all along. He didn't acknowledge me. It wasn't because he didn't know, but it was because he didn't want to. During the 3 years that I was in a coma, Vivian didn't just give me memory-damaging drugs. She also harmed my body. The emotional shock of Owen's words, along with being drenched in icy water, gave me a fever. By evening I had just taken medicine, and my fever was subsiding when my bedroom door was suddenly kicked open. Owen stormed in, his face full of rage. He dragged me off the bed. He shouted, "Shannon, what memory game are you playing this time? Do you know how much trouble you caused when you jumped into the water like that?" I had recently tried to stir his memories of us by recreating moments from our past. It seemed like he assumed that I had fallen into the water on purpose again, just for his sake. I refuted. I didn't do it on purpose. Today it was because. How dare you deny it? Vivian went through so much to wake you up, yet you have no regard for your body. Because of you, her depression relapsed, and now she doesn't even want to get married anymore. You're such a disaster. Owen's expression was fierce as he yanked me toward Vivian's room. You're going to apologize to Vivian right now. At this moment, Vivian was lying in bed with her eyes closed. Luca sat beside her, looking worried. He patted her shoulder with his tiny hands to comfort her. "Mom, don't be sad." The moment Owen dragged me over, Luca jumped down from the bed, rushed at me, and struck me in the stomach with his fists and feet. "You wicked woman. It's all your fault. Mom doesn't want to marry Dad anymore because of you. Why don't you just die?" No mother could bear to hear such words from their son. My heart twisted in agony. Owen stopped Luca, his face dark with anger. He turned to me and said, Shannon, Vivian was so upset with you that she tore up her wedding dress. Now she has nothing to wear for her wedding. Weren't you an apprentice of an embroidery expert? Make her a traditional wedding dress and she'll forgive you. I let out a bitter laugh. Owen, didn't you claim that you remembered nothing? How do you know that I was trained in embroidery? A flicker of panic crossed his face. I heard it from others. I stared into his eyes, wanting to ask if he had also heard that I could no longer hold a needle. Embroidery was intricate. It required perfect coordination between the mind, eyes, and hands. Years ago, when I saved Owen from drowning, my eye was struck by a rock at the bottom of the river. From that day on, my left eye's vision deteriorated to the point of near blindness. The doctor told me that if I insisted on continuing embroidery, I would eventually go completely blind in that EYT. The time, a high-ranking official pressured me to embroider a gown for his wife. Owen took a considerable risk to refuse on my behalf. He was thrown into prison and tortured, yet he never gave in. When he was finally released, he held me tightly, his eyes red with emotion, and swore that he would never let anything harm my eyes again. Yet, he was now forcing me to embroider a wedding dress for Vivian. I felt utterly defeated. I haven't embroidered in years. I won't be able to do it. Find someone else. My fever had just broken and my body still felt weak. I turned to leave after saying this. Before I could leave, Owen grabbed my arm. He frowned. How dare you refuse? Vivian saved your life, and you won't even make her a wedding dress? How do you expect me to believe that I ever loved you? It was that sentence again. Whenever I tried to trigger his memories, he would say that he couldn't believe that he had ever loved me. I would try to convince him each time, telling him how deeply we loved each other and how much I adored him. But this time I didn't want to say anything anymore. Maybe you really never loved me. My voice was cold. Owen, the person you love is Vivian. I was the one being delusional. Owen's expression darkened. He stared at me in disbelief, a flicker of panic flashing across his eyes. A second later, it was replaced by mockery. Is this your new trick? Are you playing hard to get? I was just about to shake my head when he tightened his grip on my arm until it hurt. No matter what you try, I won't go easy on you. You will make that wedding dress whether you want to or not. Don't forget that you spent 3 years in a coma living off my money. You owe me. I was momentarily speechless. I was pregnant with Luca too soon. At the time, Owen wanted to marry me, but I didn't want to hold a wedding while pregnant. We planned to register our marriage since we wouldn't have a wedding. But on the day we were supposed to go to the city hall, we got into an accident. A van lost control and headed straight for us. In that split second before impact, I instinctively shielded Owen with my own body. So, even though we had a 3-year-old child together, we were never legally married. In that sense, Owen had no obligation to pay for my medical expenses. He smirked in satisfaction when he saw me hesitate. He bent down and asked, "Well, Shannon, will you pay me back the money or make the wedding dress?" Thinking about the astronomical medical costs, I clenched my teeth. Fine. I'll do it.